Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Silver Lining. I'm Kevin Ashley.
I'm Nicole Littlefield.
And I'm Danny Oliveris.
And today we have a guest. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Brenton Russo. Wait, what else am I supposed to say?
Brenton?
Well, not much. It's just you introduce yourself. Your name is Brenton. And you're also a coworker with us at the Courier, correct?
Correct. That is true. Yeah, I do some of the design work.
All right. As y'all can clearly see, we're starting to introduce guests into these segments, trying to branch out a bit more in the things that we talk about. So it's not just us rambling on for the next couple of hours. We can allow him to ramble on for about an hour or so. So let's see what happens.
So, Brenton, what brought you to COD?
So this is my first year at COD. I'm doing a 3-in-1 program with Lewis University for computer science. So what originally brought me here was looking at, actually, if you go all the way back to freshman year of high school, there was, in order to graduate, you had to take, or the suggested thing was taking 2 years of foreign language, which I didn't want to do. So I joined, Spanish 1 or whatever that class was. Ended up dropping out the day before the first quiz, and I joined a class, a tech class at York, and then from there, that's kind of brought my passion of computer science on. I took that class in the advanced level for the past for all 4 years of my high school career, which is pretty cool. And I was able to meet that requirement of that foreign language by taking an art class. So that was able to get the graduation requirements. I took ceramics or something.
What?
But
That's
a lot
so
of
fair.
Correct.
How'd you manage that?
It's called work in the system.
That is so unfair.
It's called work in the system.
I'm having to take my 4th semester of French over the summer because I didn't take it in high school. And
in order to graduate, we didn't have to take you didn't have to take a world language. You just have to take a semester of fine arts, which world language falls under. But I just took a ceramics class, and that counted for the graduation requirement. But the issue with that was a lot of colleges they do want two foreign languages, which I think is dumb. But COD doesn't. So that's what really, really highlighted here. And that was like, boom, let's do this. I found this 3-in-1 program. After 3 years here, you get guaranteed transfer over to Lewis as long as you complete all the required courses. That's 0 world language. I can just use my phone if I need to talk to somebody who doesn't speak English. It's best of both worlds. Didn't have to struggle through those classes, and here I am now. And also just affordability too. I'm talking to all these people and geez, they have all this incredibly student debt. It's outrageous how much school costs, and it's super affordable.
Especially now with the pandemic, some colleges didn't even lower their prices, even though they were staying on.
Right.
That was ridiculous.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's also just highlights a bigger issue, I think, when it comes to a lot of stuff on how in order to get a higher education in this country, you need to hand over an arm and a leg and be in debt for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not
and
like
also
that in other developed nations.
Yep. Your ACT scores, that really didn't matter at COD. You could just be a Joe Schmo off the street, get a quick GED, and here you are. So I think that's another nice thing is everyone, oh my God, SAT. I said, I don't give a crap. I walked in, did my best, and didn't worry about it. I couldn't even tell you the score I got because I don't care.
Yeah. Basically, that's it. You just got to go in, do your thing. And then when it comes to COD in particular, a lot of colleges, if you go to, because I'm going to the transfer process right now. And after 2 years at any college, community, or another university, they don't even care about your high school or SAT scores anymore. They just care about what your grades are at that university.
Correct.
I remember high school being so anxious about my SAT scores and because they put so much pressure on them, but they don't mean anything unless you're trying to transfer to a really good school straight out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a realization you come to, like, the more you go through the system, just how much doesn't matter. Like, you know that moment when you were like out of high school and you look back on all like the drama and the bullshit and you're just like, huh, so much of that had no weight on like anything in my life. Now that I've stepped back from it.
Yeah, or you always hear like, oh, that's not going to slide in college. And it probably will.
It probably will.
I hate that. We're preparing you for college. Goes to college is nothing like high school. One of the worst things for me was like I was a very big realist, or I still am. And so in high school, I would know that these were insignificant moments, but they just felt so important in the moment. And it was very annoying.
Yep. You look back on it now and it's like, it was stupid that I thought this was going to like follow me for the rest of my days. But
I actually had I actually was on the flip side of that, where like in high school I was like just cruising by. I was like, I don't give a fuck, it's whatever, it's just high school, yada yada yada. And now in college I'm more like anxious and like, oh my god, I gotta fucking I'm in college and I'm actually paying for my classes, so it actually matters. So, I don't know. I'm actually on the reverse of that, of like now I'm actually worried about my future and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Worry about your future, Danny.
I worry about your future, Danny. But yeah.
So if you were in more like IT and computer science, why did you want to join the Courier?
So I've always had a kind of design nick of things, just on a like personal level doing stuff. And I saw an ad on the horrific Chap Life, or whatever that horrible system is called. I was like, oh, what the heck? Sent an awkward email to Jim, who's our advisor. And then, well, here we are. So
that's how it always starts. An awkward email to Jim.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it always is.
And you expect really it to always be.
And it was like, dear Mr. Fuller, you know what I mean? People always, and I was just, it was really awkward, but
you expect it to be like a more formal process. Cause you type out dear Mr. So-and-so, blah, 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 blah. Hopefully you accept me, yada, yada, yada. And then he responds back with, oh yeah, sure. Just come by this. I'll send you out a Zoom link and this and that. Like you type out like proper British English paragraph talking about you're wanting to join the Courier. And then he just responds like with, okay, lol.
That's all professors though. I'm not even kidding. I've gotten more professional emails from students than I have from the professors, just because like we are so focused on having to write things professionally. And then the teachers are just like, LOL, cool.
Or sounds good. Thanks.
You need to extend that deadline by 2 weeks? Okay, that's fine.
I don't blame them. Like, if I were a professor, I'd probably do the same exact thing. I just think it's so funny, the difference.
Mm-hmm. Like, the weight.
I mean, they're probably responding to a lot, so it's easier than doing, hello, comma, thanks for your email, blah, blah, blah. So.
How have you been liking it at the Courier?
I'm loving it. It's, especially with being at, starting off the year, first year at COD, fully online, meeting new people, doing stuff, staying busy is a challenge regardless. But I think this has helped, and I've, enjoyed it. Meet some people, had some fun, learned some stuff. So
just wait until you get into the office space for the Courier. You'll have your own little area, your own little section to do your thing. Don't they have like Mac?
Yeah, we have Macs.
Yeah.
That's nice. I've been there in a while. There's like 8 of them, so it's kind of like a
you get your own half of a cubicle.
It's more like a free-for-all fight type thing. Like first come first serve. So because when I first started, I didn't get a desk, but then the semester changed and I was like, I'm stealing this one. And then COVID happened. Yeah, I still
I never got a desk. I was there for like a year and I never got a desk.
You didn't fight hard enough.
You would say,
I
Danny,
guess
would you
not.
want a desk though?
I don't know.
I feel like a
thought
desk
I
would tie you down.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I just was like, I kind of wanted us to have like a desk and be like, hey, I have a desk here, but it's
Or be like,
whatever.
hey, yeah, can you put that on my desk? Kind of like,
yeah.
and you can use
I
it for
never
other
got
crap
one.
too.
That's
Like, oh, I've got some
that's
work
where
to
I
get done. All right, I'll just come
where
on
I
in
plan
and
to
use the
like
desk.
do
That's
the
what I
editing
did.
that I do.
Before everything shut down, I would get there early and the whole office would be empty and I would just sit there and like prepare for my class, go to class. Like I got to leave my coat in there. It was so nice.
Oh my God, that's so great. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that'll be nice.
Oh yeah, having a place to leave your coat's like the best.
Yeah, because
that's what I did a lot with the speech and debate room.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
where is the room in correlation of the college?
It's right by the student life office thing. Like so it's in the basement section. Do you know where the Starbucks is or like the central hub?
Yeah.
There's a staircase that goes down. It's right in that little area. It's kind of hidden.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You're bound to miss it the first time you walk past it.
Because it's like the student life little office window thing, and then it's to the left of that, and it's in a little corner.
And it's right next to like the speech and debate room too. So like you're more likely to see the speech and debate room than you are to see the office. But if you see that room, then you'll see the office right next to it.
The hallway is just hidden, so it's kind of hard to describe.
Yeah.
But that's why it's nice, because then, I mean, it's both nice and horrible, because no one knows you're there, but then again, no one knows you're there.
Well secluded, I see all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, I do have some on. Well, fall classes have been out. I don't know if you guys know. Actually, it doesn't matter for you. Why am I telling you? Because you're not going to be here next year. But Danny, fall classes have been released.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Brenton, how is college life for you now? Like, because like you haven't really experienced college in college, right? Like,
correct. Just
for you,
just
it's all
online.
been online.
Yeah, it's quite convenient, I have to admit.
Yeah. You don't feel like let down of like, oh, I'm missing out on the college experience or whatever?
No, I mean, sure, I probably am, and I'm not getting as much out of if an in-person thing, but I have no complaints. Everything is as good as possible. Learning stuff, having fun, meeting people. It's kind of what I would do.
Do you think you would join any clubs when the college opens up? Or would you just stick with the Courier?
I'd have to see. I'd have to depend on schedule wise, see what else I can fit in. But
I could see you doing well.
I don't speech or debate.
I could see you doing well in that event, though. You have like
anyone can do speech and debate well if they try hard enough.
That's true. Like some of our best like speech and debate people were like incredibly introverted individuals who like had a hard time.
I'm an introvert, but I don't just do that.
Well, my point still stands in the fact that like public speaking as a skill is not only a good skill to have, but something that will follow you anywhere.
Well, true, yeah, 100%.
I loved a lot of the clubs that CUD had. I actually was a part of this club called the Tabletop Club, which was like board games.
Wait, when were you there?
Before everything shut down. I tried going as often as I could.
Because I was there fairly consistently at Tabletop Club.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Did we just like not see each other? I guess we like alternated days that we showed up.
Yeah,
because I never ran into you.
Maybe when I left, you came or something, or vice versa.
Maybe. Because there weren't a lot of girls who went there. Because there weren't a lot of girls that I saw there.
Nope.
It's like, yeah.
It was fun. But yeah,
sounds cool.
One club that I really liked and enjoyed. So, but then obviously everything kind of shut down, and since it was an in-person game, nothing really happened for that. But they have a lot of like really cool clubs like that. So hopefully you'll find something, or the Courier's fine. That's all I did my first semester.
Yeah, I have to see.
You could join MUN, but I would probably travel to Europe for free.
What's MUND?
Model
Model
United
United
Nations.
Nations.
I
Yeah.
love that Brenton knows this, and I'm the one graduating.
Well, Kevin brings it up every other day.
Oh,
It's actually quite annoying. But he does bring it up. Yeah, I'm not a huge into politics. I try to just stay out of it. Let them do what they want to do. So, yeah.
So you are really good with managing your time, and you always seem to have so much energy. How do you go about that?
Well, my life revolves on a calendar. I have everything on a calendar. We actually have a family shared calendar, which is actually great. So like all of our stuff's on one thing. But I just put everything on there, book it all, and I can see what it is. I don't know. I don't do much. Like what I kind of do is what I do. Anything I do, I just do a lot of it. I don't do any like 20,000 small things. I usually do like 10,000 large things. That's kind of how I do it. But pretty much, yeah, just knowing schedules, planning. I'm always on time, other than the two on the bottom here. That helps. Going to bed at a reasonable time, waking up at a reasonable time.
7 a.m. That's not reasonable.
It's reasonable. It's very reasonable.
How? Unless you haven't classed that early, there's no real reason to.
Well, whatever.
No, I know.
That's when, for example, if I've got, let's say I have a class at 9, but then maybe from 8 to 9 I can work on something else, or maybe I've got something here to do or homework to work on. So it's just sporadic. I don't usually do designated times for like homework or assignments things. I just do those intermixed between things. So like, oh, I've got a couple things, not got done. Maybe after this I'll work on a couple assignments, whatever. So keeping a calendar is very helpful.
Yeah, you also seem to like keep the Courier staff on like time as well, though. Like where you're like, hey, don't forget your time sheets, guys, and like this and that.
You've taken on a lot of responsibility that isn't necessarily within your purview, but hey, you do. It's a good on you.
There are some things that you did, like the changing the usernames. Like I didn't even know that was possible, and then you were just like, "Oh, do this," and I was like, "Oh." Okay,
well, it made no sense. Why is everyone logging into one solid account? Like it made sense. So
it didn't make sense.
Yeah, taking initiative, doing some things. That entire our entire system to post things and get the newsletter going was a colossal disaster. So just setting up stricter deadlines. I had a meeting with Sadie and told her, let's do this. She's like, oh, good idea. And boom, there we go. And they're out of date. So for some reason, the ones I've got is like sent out at 8:15. What does yours come out at like a different? There's kind of a weird thing with the scheduling, and I need to look into this. But it may be since we send it to like 20,000 people, I think it does sporadic. Like it doesn't send them all. Like someone go to your Courier, the last email, and see what time it sent it from.
I think I got mine like around 8 or 9 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
It was definitely 8 o'clock. I just don't know it's not telling me the exact time that it was.
If you click on the like the day of the email, you open up
8:06 a.m.
I got mine at 8:07.
Okay, so I do think it goes it goes everyone, like it trickles everyone out. So that's good to know.
Sends out the email 1 a minute.
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, I don't think it's 1 a minute, but you get what I mean.
That would take forever. That'd be really funny though.
In order for everyone to get it, it just sends out 1 each minute. 20,000 minutes later, okay, you got this week's Courier newsletter.
I think it's really great that you have a family calendar and everyone in your family uses it, because my family also has a family calendar, and I will put stuff on there and then my parents will be like, what do you have going on today? And I'm like, it's on the calendar. Just look.
Well, yes, everything's on there. it's not on the calendar, it's not happening.
I mean, I'm not great at putting things on the calendar, but it's also because I would put things on the calendar and then I'd get asked what I had going on. And so I kind of stopped being as
So it's kind of like, what's the point of the calendar if you're going to ask me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't respect when I have stuff going on either. I keep having to mute because I hear my dad screaming throughout my house. I'm like, please don't, microphone, don't pick it up.
I think in my household, we're all just kind of like, we all do our own thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing here.
We're not really like concerned with each other. We just see each other pass by every once in a while, and it's like, hey, what's up? And I'm out of here. I'm leaving or something.
Yeah, it's just like everyone just kind of does their own thing here, and we just make it work time-wise. Like if we have like an event that the whole family's supposed to do, we're told about it in advance, so we have that day free. But besides that, it's like, see you when I see you.
Yeah.
The last thing I kind of wanted to ask you about, Brenton, was the awards that we got, and for the what is it? Illinois Journalism.
It's like the Illinois Broadcast Journalism Association thing.
It's IJCC. I think it's Illinois Journalism Community College or Journalism Association Community College. I don't know, something like that.
Oh yeah, here it is. The name is Illinois Community College Journalism Association.
I had all the right words, just not in the right order. My life.
Facts.
It's basically me with math.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Nope, go ahead.
Well, the podcast actually got third place in the state. So we were really excited and honestly quite surprised about that. But you got
I guess you could call it a silver lining.
Oh.
I appreciate and hate that at the same time.
I appreciated it very much. Thank you, Brenton.
Yes, Nicole, you were saying?
Oh, but Brenton, you got some awards too. Did you want to talk about them?
Yes. So as a group, we got first place for our website. I took the liberty of making some changes to that, cleaned it up a bit. So that was a really nice thing, and glad we were able to do that to make it a little more user friendly and let people make it a little more visible for people to view.
So you say we,
and then
you did it.
Me, yeah, we equals me. And then I also got second place for best page design. That was for our best of. And then I also got first place for inside page design.
That's awesome.
So going on some that some. So yeah, pretty exciting.
Got some great resume
building material.
Totally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
These awards are so interesting because this is actually, I think I've technically been on the Courier staff. Actually, Jessica and Danny have been on longer than me, but one of the longest, and I haven't even gone to an actual award ceremony. It's always been online for me, so it's been a weird situation where I don't really know what this award ceremony is for, but it's cool.
But it's nice to be recognized for work that is done.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've been there a year longer probably than you, Nicole. I'm not sure. I think it's like a semester or 2 semesters longer. I think this is my second year, right? So then, because I know last year I won first place for multimedia story with
oh yeah.
I can't remember her name. Allison. And then this year it was with Sadie. So yeah, I've been there 2 years now, I think. As the camera guy, my official title, camera guy for the Courier.
I actually got third place for reporter of the year, which was very shocking.
I wouldn't say so. You're a good reporter, good writer.
Thank you. I kind of forgot that I have put my stuff in the category, which is why I was like, oh, I got that. Cool. Overall, it's been a very interesting experience, but very weird just because it's virtual and nothing like being on the speech team, we had to go to the award ceremonies and stuff like that. And unfortunately, my schedule didn't match up with the award ceremony, so I couldn't go this year. So it just felt really weird having, like, Jim was messaging us all like, congratulations, and I was in class just getting spam.
Yeah, it was really awkward.
Yeah, because I held it at such an awkward time for like an award ceremony, and I was just like, yeah, it's nice to be seeing this stuff, but I am currently in class right now and can't really like acknowledge a lot of this besides the occasional emote.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I am curious to know though. So you tend to have, well, fairly strong opinions about a lot of things. What are the things about like the Courier or the college, because you tend to like express your opinions a lot on that, what would you change if you had the power to?
Well, I don't like my axe. I don't think anyone does. It's got a little problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cruddy, but that's more of a cosmetic thing. But no, I mean, I think, I don't know, what are you trying to get at? Like little small things that you're trying to, or like big picture?
As in like, it could be either or. I'm just curious about like what things you see as like could be done better, could be more aesthetically pleasing. Just like, what are your thoughts on insert?
Well, on the COD website, I don't like the scrolling animation that's originally on here. Have you ever gone to the homepage?
Yeah.
And try to scroll down, and it's like like
fighting
grid changes. Oh, it doesn't make any sense. So then you have to turn off scrolling animations, and then it works. It's like, oh, come on, just turn off the scrolling animations. That's very annoying.
I feel like you would also change Chap Life, even though they just rebranded it. It's
Chap Life. Chap Life doesn't. I don't really understand. Wait, I think it's like presence.io, I think. Yeah, I don't really understand the use of it. Like, I understand it's trying to use it as like each club can have their own page, but it's just not user friendly, and half the clubs don't even have info on it, so it really doesn't serve as any sort of use.
That's mainly because we're all online, I feel like. Just because they had a lot of clubs, like before COVID, they preached about how they had like over 100 clubs. But
that could be.
That number went down a lot.
Yeah. Another thing I wish the college would do is update their app. Have you downloaded the COD app?
There's a COD app.
Yeah,
don't download it. Don't download it. It's not user friendly at all. You open the page and it's on this page. In order to do anything, you have to go to the taskbar on the side. But then you have to
consistently have to log in each time. Yeah, that's my biggest grievance is they consistently have to relog in.
The home page, when you open the app, needs to have a kind of a dashboard widget information right when you hop on. Now, I don't want to go to the side and do it, so it's not very user friendly, which is the annoying part. Which it could, very useful.
I don't know why COD has so many issues with user-friendly like websites, but even like the COD website in general, like it's easy to navigate, but it's also not. Like it's the search function is what I use consistently.
Correct. That's the only way to find things.
Yeah,
that is very true.
Clicking through anything.
No. For example, if you just want like a calendar of the school year, good luck finding that. You just search calendar.
Yeah.
So the search is great, but yeah, the menu bar on the top, I'd love to hover over it and get more things, but that doesn't. So yeah, there's room for improvement.
All right. Anything else? Any more grievances you want to air, or
not at this current moment?
All right.
Although we bashed COD a bit, I really do love COD.
Yes, COD is great. These are just little nitpick things.
Yeah.
COD
just
that shows that they're actually quite good. Because if that's the only thing you have to complain about.
And if they just hire you to fix all of it, then we wouldn't be complaining.
Exactly.
Correct.
Like the only grievances that are known are just like, as you just said, just little details. So everything else, and like, because especially like the qualification of professors at this school, like, it's so interesting to me just how, I guess, like overqualified a lot of them are, because you don't expect a lot of like the caliber of like skill and education ability to be at like a community college. But then talk to
and for the technical classes, you have and for the technical classes, they all have backgrounds in that. It's not like they were just teachers. Like they did it and then they were teaching. So that is something very, very impressive with COD.
Like I had a professor who literally one of his for like multimedia, one of his books became like a TV series, and another one of his books was like a New York Times bestseller, and like there was like a movie based off of another thing that he did, and it's like you're working at a community college, and it's just like, because COD is just that good, and it pays its teachers well.
Yeah. One of my professors, Professor Michelle Moore, I had her for one of my literature classes, and her background, like she does a lot of research on Ernest Hemingway and like that time period. So it was really interesting to hear her point of view and like her having all of this knowledge about this one time period, not just that one time period. Like she had more knowledge, but her specialty was definitely the 1920s. And it was just really interesting. But again, like she was very overqualified for a community college teacher.
Yeah.
And I guess like when it comes to the conversation about overqualifications for a certain institution, I think the thing that's like, at least for me, I would say that brings us to that conclusion is because usually when you think about a community college, you don't really associate it with like, well, what the College of DuPage currently has. Like community colleges tend to get a bad rep because it's like, oh, your university, they'll put you in $10,000 of debt. What's wrong with you? And it's like,
I don't know what's happening, but there's a lot of static feedback.
Hello? Okay, is this better?
That was good, yeah.
Okay.
Start over.
Okay, so yeah, train of thought. Where'd that go?
So basically, all right.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is you wouldn't assume, because of the rep that community colleges get, that they would be able to have such like caliber of teachers, but it's just because people will have a perception that a community college is worse than a four-year university for, I don't know, you're not going into tremendous debt for some reason.
Yeah, and like Kevin and I, like we met in MBTV department, right? And like in one of Jennifer's classes, and she's been in the field like for a long time before she started teaching. So that kind of does go to show that like a lot of these teachers do have a background and have worked in that field, in their field that they teach now.
That is something that I am so grateful for about CUD, is just like how supportive a lot of the professors are and how much they want you to succeed. I can't, most of my professors have been that way, but it really stood out for like the extracurriculars. Like Jim, he's been working for news and journalism for basically as long as I've been alive, about 20 years. And then the speech and debate coaches, like me and Kevin talk about this all the time about how they know what they're doing and they care so much about us. And like I said, so many of my professors were that way too. It was just different because it was a class setting rather than like an extracurricular. Like I'm here to have fun and do this extracurricular.
And that's like another big thing, because like obviously all colleges want their students to succeed, but like the College of DuPage goes above and beyond in trying to make sure that you succeed. Like the professors are excellent in like keeping track of their students. The college itself has a absolute gigaton of resources for people to use in order to like help with their grades or study for a test or just have like a quiet place to do your thing at. Like there's just so much opportunity and easy access to resources that is just like, as far as I can tell, fairly like unprecedented.
Yeah, the writing, Warsaw, the writing, reading, and speech assistants. I've gone there so many times. They've helped me
So helpful.
so helpful. I am so grateful for that. I've also, so like I said, I'm taking French, and they have a French tutor, and she's like, I see her twice a week. She's awesome. She helps me so much. Probably would not be passing French if it weren't for her.
And
Yeah, it's like that at COD.
college dreams.
Why do you keep bringing in all of like the nice little slogans? You're like a walking COD. We all are a walking COD ad right now.
Yeah.
And we can trash COD, you know, they're not fucking perfect, right? You know, like there's some teachers there that like, you know, let me tell you, dudes, there's some teachers that are fucking just.
Oh yeah, I've run into like a couple where it's just like, but for the most part,
you could tell they're just there for the fucking paycheck.
Mm-hmm. But like you'll find that at virtually any institution.
Yeah. That's not a COD problem. That's just
that's a
problem.
People problem. Yep.
Yeah.
That's just humanity.
I like to use Rate My Professor to kind of figure out like it's not always, you know, people always have strong opinions about their teachers. They either love them or hate them. But it's always, I like getting an idea of what I'm getting myself into before I sign up for the class. So that's been very.
I always agree. I always look at the good reviews versus the bad reviews. The bad reviews, I usually, as someone got pissed off or whatever you didn't like. But the good reviews, if there's a lot of good reviews, then it shows that it's a good
I'll
instructor.
read the bad reviews, but I always criticize them because they'll be like, they're always bad for a stupid reason, like, oh, they gave too much homework. Like it's a college,
right? Like that's not a it's an odd. Yeah, some of them are like okay. Or one of them I was looking and it was like or horrible with online teaching. Okay, well, and when was it? It was right, and it's just these kind of like that really doesn't matter, or like you know.
Also, I think that's a good system to focus on the amount of good reviews they get versus bad reviews. Because if you don't like something, you're more likely to like comment and say you don't like it than if you do like something. So if there's a plurality of people who came up and who not only liked it, but liked it enough to go out of their way to leave a comment saying that they liked it, then there was probably something good about that professor.
Correct. If I really hated you, Kevin, and you were my teacher, I would go and write a bad review. But if you were like pretty darn, you know, if you were just normal and great, if I wouldn't do anything, and if you were like amazing, then yeah, maybe I would go and do it. So I think that's kind of how I phrase it as, because and people always have grudges against people. Oh, I failed the first test and I didn't reserve that, blah blah blah. So now you're just gonna get mad. So
yeah, and try to like make their class suffer by leaving a bad review.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, my first year at COD, I didn't know about Rate My Professor, so I just like picked any classes, and I did not have a very good time my first year there.
Yeah, because there'll be some instances where you run into people who are just like their teaching style just ain't for you.
Yeah.
Oh god, that reminds me of fucking high school. I had this one like physics professor who his teaching style was basically, I'm going to teach this the way I think it should be taught. And if you don't get it, you're just dumb. Like 20% of the class understood what he was teaching. The other 80% didn't get it, me included. And he would always go to those 20% and be like, could I have made this test any more easier for them? Like I was sitting next to him when he went to one of the students and said that. And I'm like, bitch, I'm right here, and you know I suck at this. Like, he was just a bad teacher because he was just set in his way on how it should be taught.
I think that's funny because my physics teacher was the complete opposite of that, and I learned I was one of those 20%, not to be like horrible, but he taught us it. And then he just sat there and he just continued to teach us the same thing over and over again, even though it seemed like most people had a good understanding of it. And we like all of the other classes were in like 3-4 units ahead of us. And we didn't finish the amount of units that we were supposed to finish in that class. So I know very little physics.
Nah, when are you ever going to use it? Just know that gravity keeps you down, water is wet, objects in motion tend to stay in motion except hit them by accident first. Yeah.
Things fall in parabolas. Gravity is like what, -9 point something.
Yeah, just
who knows?
If you become a physicist, you might want to like refresh your memory on a couple of these things, but for the most part, you're fine.
I think it's pretty obvious that I'm not going to be a physicist.
It's been so long since I've had any like gen ed classes. I don't remember any of like the whole math equations and like none of that. I don't remember any of that. And I still have to take a math class.
I still have to take a math class. I was going to take one this semester, but I didn't get enough on that test in order to qualify for like not having to take a math course that doesn't count for college credit. And I'm like, if it doesn't count for college credit, I'm not taking it. Like I'm not gonna waste money on that. So I just didn't. And now I'm going to take it at the college I transferred to. So that should be fun. Math is the one subject that I'm just like terrible at for some reason. Like I can talk, I can somewhat write, but put numbers in my face and suddenly my brain shuts off.
I actually had not a bad time with math because like to me it's just equations and it's like just plug in the fucking numbers and you get an answer. You know, it's like 1 + 1 is 2 and it's always going to be 2. It's not like writing where like you have to like, you know, I don't know.
Well, like and there lies the issue with me because like obviously it's super simple. Well, not super simple, but it's just logical. Math is just pure logic and like this does this yada yada yada. I get that. My problem comes when I try to like follow that logic, where in writing, if you make a mistake, it doesn't really matter that much because there's like an error in a word. Or if you're talking and you say the wrong thing, it doesn't really matter that much. You can kind of like fix it with the next word that comes out of your mouth. With math, if you forget to carry the 1 in like any instance, the whole equation's wrong and you fucked up. And there's like the amount of times that I've messed up an answer by forgetting, like I did the equation right, but I didn't put down the negative sign, or I left it negative, which should have been positive, will always piss me off.
I actually really enjoy the process of like, you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like I fucked it up. Where did I fuck up? And then you go back and you try to like find exactly where you made your mistake and then you try to redo everything. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed that process.
I hate that process. It's the most frustrating thing in my life.
I both agree with Danny and disagree. I don't like that process of like having to go back and be like, okay, where did I fuck up? But I also, math feeds my logical, like the logical part of my brain. And I really, it's not easy, but it's a formula and the formula is never going to change. It's just the numbers that are going to change and just kind of having to figure out what numbers get placed in that formula. However, the highest math I have taken was calculus, and I don't want to take anything higher than that because some of my friends are taking like the higher calculuses, and I'm just like, that looks horrible. Good luck.
Yeah. I'm by no means a math geek or anything, you know, like I'm not like a math fan. Like fuck, I don't like math, you know. I don't like math, but I never found it like super hard, and I don't know. I just kind of wish life was like that, you know, where like you could go back and find exactly where you fucked up and make sure not to do it again. You know what I mean? Because in life it's like, oh, I fucked up, but where did I fuck up? I don't know, you know, I made a mistake here, and then like, you know, it just all unravels, and you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
That was one good thing, like, because Kevin was talking about the Alex like placement test and how he had to take that. That was the one good thing that came out of COVID for me, was that that test got extended. So I wasn't taking a math class, but I took the placement test at some point, and it was going to expire, but then COVID happened, and so I got to take statistics with that placement.
That's nice.
I was very lucky with that.
It's really nice to hear. All right. So we are approaching the end of our show here. And as we usually do, we like to end things with a little bit of a silver lining. But I would like to see if our guest has anything he'd like to add for this week's silver lining.
Sure. I have to say, with Earth Day coming up, with Earth Day has passed, It's actually been a lot of, I've really dug deep into looking into some of the more Earth Day events. What can each of us originally do? And Liam, one of the other Courier staff members, wrote this pretty good article about forest preserves and what they were doing. And he brought up some really neat volunteering sections and these volunteers and different opportunities that people can do. And I think just kind of I took that time that kind of sparked it, and just I really took some more time to digging in and seeing what I as an individual can do to help support the earth, and kind of working on making it easier. So I don't know, that's kind of something that been nice over this past week, is looking more into that, because before I didn't really think much of it. I was like, but now I'm working on trying to be a little more observant of them.
Taking care of our planet. For the time being, we only have one, at least till Elon Musk sends us all off to Mars. So until that day comes, all we got is this blue marble. So, all right. As always, this is the silver lining. And to remember, despite how dark the clouds may be, always search for the silver lining. Have a good rest of your day.